Hey y'all, my name is Chelsea, aka Cece, and I know y'all usually see me do Pilates, and I know it's been a little while, but I do have an explanation. So essentially, 2024 was the year that I focused on my physical health overall. I started doing Pilates, got back in the gym, got consistent, which is how you guys see all my Pilates content. Well, 2025, I had a pivot and I started to realize as much as I was pouring into my physical health, I also needed to do the same with my mental and emotional health, right? I realized 2024 was the year that I poured a lot into my physical health. I was extremely active. I was doing Pilates, as you guys see on my videos, and I was also working in catastrophe claims. I was climbing on roofs approximately 4 a day, working 14 to 21 days straight. And I realized while I was pouring into my physical health, I was also depleting it as well, between work and just Pilates. And I felt like I was running myself extremely low. So I know that I haven't been posting and doing Pilates a lot, but I have a good reason. With me pouring a lot into my physical health in 2024 and then saying I can put that same amount into my mental and emotional health, I pretty much kind of birthed something. So I created a shadow work journal. Applause, applause, applause. I created a shadow work journal. And you know what's so funny? Like when you take a pivot and you start to realize all the energy you put into one thing, if you can put into something else, like what you can do with it. And that's essentially what I've done. So I created a shadow work journal and I would love to just share a little bit with you guys. Now, my journey with shadow work started from just pretty much putting everything on the back burner, and I'll deal with it later because I was just always busy. I was working 14 to 21 days straight. I didn't really have much time to sit and think on anything, if that makes any sense. But I created this shadow work journal to really work through everything. So if you guys don't mind, I want to share a little bit with you. This is the table of contents. So week 1, we will be going over meeting yourself honestly. Week 2, the version I created to survive, which I was in survival mode a lot. Week 3, emotional triggers and hidden wounds. Week 4, we will go over patterns I keep repeating. Week 5, accountability without shame. Week 6, emotions I never allow myself to feel. And last but not least, week 7 is going to be going over grief, release, and acceptance. Now, also with each week, I also include journal prompts. I also include exercises, just pretty much little ways to get your mind going so that you can think deeper on these topics. So I'm going to go over a couple of them. Now, reflection prompts on week 1. First reflection prompt: what am I avoiding feeling right now? 2, when do I feel disconnected most from myself? 3, what do I distract myself with the most? And last but not least, 4, what emotions feel hardest to sit with? So I know a lot of people feel a way about therapy, right? Sometimes it's 50-50. Some people are like, I'm pro therapy, and some people are like, I'm not going to talk to a stranger to tell my business. So the way that I put this together was a way for someone who has or has not been to therapy, who can just really sit with themselves and unpack things. For those who don't go to therapy, my hope is with unpacking these things, you're able to work through it and really just kind of release some things, right? I put this together so that you can release these things and look at things in a different way. You know, I also utilize daily check-in exercises. So, for instance, for week 1, write one honest sentence each day. Right now, I feel blank. The integration portion of that, though, is going to be sit in silence for 2 minutes daily without distraction. And the closing reflection is going to be, I am no longer avoiding blank. For me, I added in the 2 minutes without distraction because my mind goes 24/7. So it was hard for me to focus on one subject, or I would fixate on one thing if it came to mind. I am hoping that this helps you guys to really just dig deep in the comfort of your own home and just with yourself. I really am hoping with this that I'm able to put this in the hands of people who have not had an outlet before, men and women. You know, I think that we are just in the state of the world where everything is really heavy right now for a lot of people, you know, and I think that having an outlet to release these things, whether you have therapy available, whether you have a close family friend that you can talk to, My hope is that this will help you to be able to release and just look at things differently so that you can clear some of that mental space, do the shadow work, release wounds, release patterns. So that is essentially what I wrote this for. If you are interested, the link is in my bio. And also, I have a Patreon. My Patreon is strictly for shadow work. That is for a community of people who are in the same space, people who are doing shadow work, people who are looking for accountability partners, or people who are going through the same things as them. If you are going through, hey, something, I'm just not feeling this anymore. I'm not feeling this anymore. If you don't have any like-minded people around you who are doing the same things and taking those pivots in life to make those changes, that is what this community is for, essentially. That is also going to be 7 weeks. Each week I will go through prompts, we'll focus on subjects, and then I will give you essentially kind of some homework to do for you to look at situations and really work through them and dig deep. And it's not always going to be easy, Sometimes it'll be hard, sometimes it'll be uncomfortable, but that's what it is. Change is never going to be comfortable every single time, right? Sometimes you have good change. Sometimes you have change where it's like, hey, I don't know what's going on. Waters are murky. This is seeming a little uncomfortable. Typically, when it's uncomfortable, people tend to avoid. They don't want to do it. They shut down. That's where it continues to put you in those recurring patterns. Avoidance creates recurring patterns. So if things are coming up and you're avoiding them, you're going to continue to go through those same patterns because you haven't worked through it. And that is where shadow work comes in. If you're working through these things, it's easier for you to release and look at things differently and just let that load go. Even just releasing mental loads. Even if you guys get this and are able to just release some mental loads, or have a conversation with someone that you felt like you couldn't, or even have a conversation with yourself that you feel like you couldn't before you got this journal. That is essentially my goal, and that is why I poured everything into it. It also comes with a lot of personal experience. As I was creating this journal, I was essentially going through everything that I'm putting in this book. So I put everything into this journal that helped me really ask myself the deeper questions to say, hey, how did I get here? How did this happen? What is the root of this emotion? Now, when I'm getting to the root of the emotion, how does it apply in my daily life? Whether that was multiple people, whether that was with jobs, whether that was recurring patterns. And I put all of that into this journal. So I'm hoping that it helps someone. In June is Men's Mental Health. Oh my gosh. Like, why is this beating my ass right now? June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Gosh, okay. June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and I really just want you to reach out to a friend, reach out to a family member. It might even be your father, boss, coworker, somebody that you know might need a hug, might need a little bit of encouragement, something, because men, y'all are just as important as we are as women. Our mental health matters, and at the state of the world, like, we need each other right now more than anything, in my opinion. Like, we really need to lean on each other right now and build community. So if you are interested, the link to my shadow work journal, as well as the link to my Patreon, are in my bio. For my Patreon, I'm going to be uploading a video weekly. That gives you guys enough time. If you do or if you don't have the journal, I will be giving reflection prompts and things to work through during the week via the Patreon on the videos. So I want to make sure that you guys have time to work through that. I don't want to give you 1 or 2 topics per week. That can overwhelm you. Let's spend a week to really just focus on one subject, dig through our emotions, have time to reflect, have time to sit on it, have time to think through it before you move on to the next thing. That's another key thing. Like, healing doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen overnight. Just like things start to pile on day by day by day by day, you have to work through it the same way. It is called the shadow side. So if you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. The Patreon is going to be for the community that you build. People who are like-minded, people who are doing the same work as you, people who are breaking out of those old habits, patterns. It's just a place that is safe for you to feel comfortable within that transition. And that's something that's really important. It can feel really lonely, like when you're going through these changes and you're starting to think like, I'm not really interested in that anymore. Like, these conversations or people, places, things, they don't interest me anymore. So going through those going through those stages and having somebody who can say like, I'm going through the same thing, like, trust me, it's not just you. Being able to just bounce off ideas and has anybody experienced this? Has anybody experienced that? There are also people who might be in different stages of healing. So imagine going through something and having someone say, hey, I went through that as well. Don't feel bad. This is what I did, or this is what my situation looked like. There are so many different ways that people can just connect and just really build a community, you know, and that is essentially what I did this for. So Patreon link is in the bio. It's $15 a month. You will get one video weekly, as well as exercises, prompts, and things to do. I suggest getting a notebook, composition notebook, regular notebook. Dollar Tree has them, 99-cent store. Do they still have 99-cent stores? Dollar Tree has it, Walmart, anything that you can just write in, something that's personal to you, that you can get your feelings out, even if it's just writing out how you feel. I don't have anything to say today, but today I felt like X, Y, and Z. Just whatever works for you. The Patreon is for like-minded people just like you, for you to have a community and feel that support. It can be hard going through transitions and not feeling like you have like-minded people or people who can understand you during that transition. And for me, like when I was doing shadow work last year, I felt like I was going crazy because I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. I'm going through X, Y, and Z. I'm finding out the root of why I feel the way I feel. I am essentially just releasing a lot of things, and I looked at a lot of things completely different. Places, things, and people that I felt like I had around me or I consumed before, I started to look at different. And it's like, when you get to that stage, it's like, what does it look like? You know, what do I do from here? Especially when you're so used to things being a certain way, and then now having to look and say, this doesn't resonate with me anymore. So having like-minded people in a community around you that you feel like you can resonate with and say, hey, okay, you've been through this. I get it. It's not just me. I'm not crazy. And some people don't have people around them who support change in life. And unfortunately, when you are around people, places, and things that are of how you felt or thought before, it can put you back into that same loop. So my hope is that building this Patreon community can allow you to continue to be the best version of yourself and work and grow. You're going to work and you're going to grow every single day, like every single day. There are some days I wake up and I'm like, you know, I used to like X, Y, and Z, and I don't even like it anymore. I used to like doing this. I don't like it anymore. You know, like things change. So it's hard to find somebody to relate to because you essentially are undoing a lot of things and you're going to feel like you're going crazy a little bit. But you're not going crazy. You're just changing. And change is good. Not everybody may support you. Not everybody may understand you. But that is what this community is for. If you don't know, when I was 21, I did a reality TV show, right? I don't even want to get too much in it. But one day I was watching. Okay, so y'all, when do y'all remember when the documentary came out and everybody was talking about the documentary about America's Next Top Model? I was watching it, like some of my favorite YouTubers were talking about it, and I don't know why. I just got so triggered. I was so triggered. And I was like, girl, like, first of all, I love commentary. I love YouTube commentary, but I didn't know why it was triggering me. So I really had to sit down that night. And I usually try and journal in the morning or at night or midday, whenever I can. But typically at the end of my day when everything is done, because it makes it easier for me. So I typically try and journal at the end of the day because it's when I'm able to decompress. I have no distractions. There's no task for me to do. No dinner needs to be cooked. Everybody is settled down. I'm able to just kind of journal and get my thoughts out. So as I'm watching this Tyra Banks and America's Next Top Model stuff, I'm starting to realize, like, I am so triggered by this. Like, girl, why are you so triggered? And then I realized, girl, a big part of why I stopped like working in the entertainment business and pursuing it as a whole is because of my experience on reality TV. My experience on reality TV, I'm not gonna lie, it really traumatized me. And I used to be like, oh, maybe I'll make a video about it. Maybe I'll make a video. And then I realized like I didn't want to speak up. Like I've always wanted to make a YouTube channel and just talk. And I felt like I wanted to shield myself. And I had to realize, okay, where did this come from? It came from me being on reality television. And my intention with doing it, mind you, I'm 21. I'm a mom. I was getting paid. So I was like, oh girl, yes, I got a month to give y'all for this check. You know, I got a month to give y'all. Not realizing my mental health was going to fucking spiral, bro. My mental health. Inserts picture of Lex P. But anyways, so I started to realize as I'm watching this documentary and the treatment of people and the things going on, I can relate. And that is why it triggered me. And I realized that's why I never pursued YouTube, because I was just essentially shielding myself from what I felt like I experienced. The whole world watching and not even realizing what really was going on behind the scenes. Like, it was traumatizing for me. First of all, imagine 3 people trying to argue with you at one time, and it's just like you can't even really say what you want to say. Like, I'm in here like, okay. Literally, it was just a scene where I was fed up. I might insert the clip. I literally was just like, if y'all don't shut the...
If you guys don't shut up.
Girl, it was stressful. Secondly, how about somebody on the show when we were on set ended up telling me I had good black girl hair?
What?
Were you trying to call me out? Oh, wow, boo boo.
Like it was crazy. There was another time where we were in between filming a scene and I heard a producer on the like walkie like mention to somebody, bring up Chelsea being guarded and something about somebody else. So just so happened, surprise, surprise, I was in the right place at the right time. So I was able to hear what they were trying to throw at me.
Well, it could have been a scheme that Todd set up for him to come to you with the bush.
And essentially, it was already like mental gymnastics and stuff they were doing. You're not sleeping that much. You might go down and have a good ass breakfast one day and it'd be yogurt and granola the next day.
Wait a damn minute.
You're starving, you're tired. There are people liquored up. I was sober for most of the time. So imagine being sober around people who are just lit. It gets annoying. But yes, talking about, oh, you have good black girl hair. That was one thing that threw me the fuck off. Like, excuse me. 2, I felt like my buttons were being pushed and it was almost kind of like going to push me to that point of, you know how they get the angry black woman, which I was not giving on national television. And I might have said a little cuss word or 2, but I didn't go off no way the way I could. When I did go off though,
And I was like, bitch, how you gonna make up your motherfucking mind, pussy asshole? What the fuck, right?
it was completely off camera with the producer. And I remember her just looking at me and be like, you're so beautiful, but the stuff that comes out of your mouth. And I'm like, girl, good black girl hair. What the fuck does that even mean? That threw me. 2, literally them, I'm hearing what y'all are doing. They put me in a room with somebody that I had just had a conversation with. Like, I didn't feel like having a conversation, but I just hear, hey, you have to come in here. Like, there, I get extremely overstimulated. I had an issue. They had a personal trainer on there. They had us outside running. Like, my anxiety was so high. I was so overstimulated. I didn't have time to really just kind of like decompress. I ended up telling them one day, like, my anxiety is high. I need to take one of my anxiety pills. I have a horrible migraine. And they were like, well, we can't make you, but I go out there, participate in the activities, get a badass headache. The man is like, he's talking crazy. So now I'm talking crazy back.
Awesome. Sometimes you gotta cuss people the fuck out because people don't understand the grace that you extend to them and how you try to handle them, and they just spit in your face. And so you have to take them to the lowest of the lowest place for them to understand you cannot fucking play with me. You cannot play with me. So,
and then I start to realize, okay, I see what y'all are doing. I'm coming on here because I'm trying to give good humor and I'm having me a good time and I'm making some money. I'm not on here like, I'm not even trying to make this about that. But anyways, that was a trigger of mine. And I had to realize in that moment when I slowed down and when I started doing this shadow work, like, hey, dig deeper into your emotions. Like, where is it? And I really had to work through that. It was extremely traumatizing for me. Yeah. It was pretty traumatizing. It was a traumatizing experience, I will say. And for me, I was going into it with the intention of, hey, I'm coming here, I'm getting paid to just essentially go to London and just have some fun, you know what I mean? And just give some good comical lines and things like that. And what I experienced, excuse me. Okay, I've definitely never cried on the internet, and I didn't think it was going to get there. Whew. Yeah, y'all, I'm sorry. I didn't expect to get emotional. I've never cried on the internet. I never even cried when I was on TV, even though, whew, girl, I was ready to just...
Where are you pricks? I am so freaking mad! I am so freaking mad! I mean, you guys have officially made me lose my marbles!
But anyways, yes, when I'm looking back and watching that documentary about America's Next Top Model, it just triggered me, you know? Seeing the treatment, especially seeing the treatment of a Black woman coming out and giving her experience, and it was just kind of brushed under the rug. Like, when I was like, hey, my anxiety is high, I know my body, this is going on, it's just like, hey, well, we still want you to participate. Like, essentially, it's like putting a hamster in a wheel and just, hey, go. It's entertainment, right? We are put in these positions to entertain and create. And, you know, the biggest thing was them, the biggest thing I feel like was them assuming, you guys knew, you guys thought it was Prince Harry. Like, why did you guys think that girl, like, be fucking for real. Why in the hell would you think that I'm over here trying to pursue Prince Harry? Why would y'all assume that I thought I was getting flown there with 11 other American girls to meet and date Prince Harry? Like, and I started to realize TV and entertainment has brainwashed people so much that they believe this. And social media was not big back then, where now people can come out and be like, hey, this is how it really happened. Or in real time, you see people like auditioning for things, and it just wasn't that time. Like, this was back in 2013, where I don't even know if Instagram videos were available at that point in time. It might have been just pictures, but it was completely different, you know, and it was just a very vulnerable time for me. I will be honest, that's just not what I expected. And had I known that's how it was, I would have never done it. I don't even watch TV anymore. Like, it's all YouTube. I watch commentary, you know, like the Popped by Cherry, Miss Angelique TV, Jada Hope, Nor Jasmine, Haley Elizabeth, The Watcher. I love me some Shane. I love me some Shane, bro. Like, The Watcher, The Mademoiselle, like The Mademoiselle, NK's World, Jessie Woo. Like, those are the type of people that I like to watch. I like commentary, true crime, things like that. I don't even watch TV anymore because it triggers me. And that happened in 2013. I couldn't tell you like I don't watch any reality TV at all. If it's a good series, I'll watch it. But other than that, it's just YouTube, because I just felt so traumatized by my experience. And when I look back, I'm like, wow, was it even worth the money? But you know what's so funny? I finally got to the point where I was like, this isn't worth my mental health. It's not worth my mental health. And essentially, I just told him, I'm
about to beat this bitch up.
Some people on this show, because I was just like, I'm losing it. But I just chose to walk away. And I remember somebody telling me, like, you're so lucky you got that contract. And I'm like, What?
I was gone.
By the grace of God. But you know what? Surprise, surprise. Shout out to the ancestors, because sister, guess what? The episode when I just completely was like, I'm good, and I ended up walking off the show. How about after that episode, it got completely canceled off airing on air, and then all the other episodes you have to watch on an app? Like, look at what the black girl hair did. Shout out to the ancestors. But anyways, yeah, traumatizing experience. But
This, be nice.
I'm finding it.
It take you that long to
It
find
does. It does.
I was able to reflect on that by just simply seeing something. You know what I mean? Seeing this and being like, this makes me feel super uncomfortable. And I just felt odd inward. I just felt off to the point where I couldn't even continue through with it. And I was like, nah, there's something there and I need to look into this. But that is essentially one of the things that I work through with shadow work, and just really focusing on how did I feel in that time? Why did I feel that way? I felt as if I was propped up for the world for them to see me. And I think that they were expecting me to completely go off and capture it on television, which I was never going to give. Like, I was never going to give that. It never gave that. And that just, that wasn't happening. You know what I mean? But in that moment, I knew that I had to go into a protection mode and protect myself from what I was experiencing, and to protect myself from putting myself in a situation of completely just spazzing, which is not even my character. You might hear me cuss somebody out. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I will cuss somebody down to the ground, read them like a book. But to just completely get on here and act a fool. Secondly, I know that you guys are antagonizing us. You're putting me in a room with somebody that you know that I just had a conversation with, and there was a little bit of tension. What do you expect to happen? You don't care about my mental health. You want to make good television. But guess what I can do? I can't remove myself. I can remove myself from the situation and say, this isn't good for me. And I'm not allowing anybody else to put me in a situation for something to happen that I don't intend to happen, or that I don't feel is fair. You know what I mean? Or I don't feel is right. Like, secondly, I have a child. I came there for money to provide for my child. I didn't come here for fame. And I didn't come here thinking that I was going to be dating no damn Prince Harry. But you know what? Megan is from LA. Somebody had joked with me and was like, real, like, whole time you were closer to what he was looking for than what they actually were. Like, I thought that was so funny. But yeah, it was traumatizing, child. I don't recommend reality TV for anybody. I don't recommend anybody do it. But don't let me project on you. That was just my experience. It was something that I worked through. But essentially having to realize how I had to put up my defenses, how I had to think quick to put up my defenses in that moment. And for me, I grew up in survival mode, you know, survival, pattern recognition. Like, my parents taught me that young. I need to know how you think before you even think it, so I know how I can move. And me being raised up that way always put me 10 steps ahead, so I wasn't in the position where I lost my cool on national television that essentially would have lived forever. And even if it's a little bit of cussing I did, telling somebody to shut the bleep up, like, I would rather that than it have went anywhere else. And I am in control of the narrative of how I looked and my character, as opposed to them being able to paint the narrative for me. That was the most recent thing that I worked through. And I've actually never really talked about it with many people. I don't even think I've talked about it with my therapist. But here it is. I guess y'all got the exclusive, child. But yeah, that is one thing that I essentially had to work on within that. And my shadow work journal did help me to do that. And everything I put into it, all of the time, all of the effort, I hope that with my shadow work journal, I'm able to deliver that same thing to you guys, where you guys are able to get mental clarity, where you guys are able to recognize and work on your trauma and triggers, and really just essentially work through the things that I feel like hold you back from being your best self. So that is how the shadow side essentially came about, and what it's done to help me. You know, somebody can try and sell you something and say, hey, this worked amazing for me. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't expect to get emotional. But I also want to be completely transparent because I use this to help myself. And the reason why I put it in the form of a journal for people to have is because I hope that they are able to do the same. So if you are interested in purchasing my Shadowwork journal, the link is in the bio. The Patreon link is also in my bio as well. That is where the community will be built. You will get one video a week. I will also be giving you extra journal prompts. So I do recommend getting a composition book as well as different reflection prompts and just daily check-ins. There will be an exercise where I'll have you write a letter to yourself. You might write a letter to someone and just never send it, burn it, just get those emotions out of there so that you're able to start understanding. Why do I move the way I move? What are my triggers? What are my trauma? What is the root of this? How does it lead to this? So that you're essentially able to clear up what is not for you in the person that you are becoming. And you can move into that person that you're becoming without all of that weight that is completely unnecessary for you to carry. I couldn't believe that was 2013 I did that show, and I'm like, wow, I can't even watch a YouTube video, which is something I enjoy doing, child. I love YouTube commentary, but I couldn't even enjoy that video because I was so stirred up emotionally and I had to get to the root of why. So that is what I'm hoping to share with this journal, that you guys are able to do the same thing. But yes, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I thank you guys so much for your support through all of my Pilates content and not posting while I was building this journal, but this journal means a whole lot to me and everything that I put into it. So I hope you guys enjoyed and it works for you just as much as it has me.